y'all? H-Star here going to be talking about this whole situation regarding Ben Simmons and his mental health. Now, I'm going to go ahead and preface by saying I'm not that much of a basketball fan. I'm more of a bandwagon fan, mostly pay attention around the playoff time. Right now, I got my eyes on the Heat and watch to see what the Grizzlies do. But other than that, I'm just a filthy casual.
Boo this man!
There's been some news going on about Ben Simmons' mental health, and I think this has something to do with why he couldn't play recently in the game that came up. He was saying it has something to do with his mental health, and a lot of people was coming at Ben Simmons crazy over it, saying he was using it as an excuse, saying, you know, shit, oh, he needs to toughen up, he needs to man up, you know, toughen through it. And it kind of tells me something. People don't give a fuck about a man's mental health. And it's crazy. And these so-called fans and these different fan bases want to act like they love the people that they're rooting for so much. But when they open up about their mental health, when they open up saying, listen, I'm not mentally here, I need to take a break, that's when people start saying or start trying to give off these shut up and dribble vibes and narratives where we don't care how you feel. You need to produce. We don't care how you feel. But here's the problem with that, and you can kind of apply that to different things, your day job, different industries, if you're a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, even other celebrities. Let's look at Naomi Osaka. She ended up wanting to take a break because of her mental health, and people came at her for the same reasons. Oh, she needs to toughen up, this and that. Even when you look at certain YouTube personalities like Etika, who had unfortunately took his own life due to suicide and everything he was fighting, like fighting his own demons. He deserved all the help in the world, and I don't know if he took a break, I don't know if he tried taking a break. But the reason why I bring up Etika is, you look at a case like that could be a result if somebody does not take their mental health seriously and they always produce. Because I'm gonna keep it real, if someone is not right up here mentally, whether it's an athlete, celebrity, rapper, different type of artist, if they're not up here mentally, how can you expect them to perform at a high level? Because you can't realistically perform at a high level if you're mentally not here. Right? If you're not here, you can't perform at a high level. That's physically impossible. But some people like to show their true colors when people open up about their mental health, like, oh, I don't care about your mental health, just keep producing. Instead of having that attitude, why don't you try to do something to encourage this person to get some help? Because if you don't, and you keep on trying to push them into producing, they're going to end up eventually having a mental breakdown. Now, when should you rather have? Somebody that keeps producing and never seeks the help they need, and they unfortunately take their own life? Or would you rather them take a step back, get the help they need to get where they need to be mentally? Because, like I said, if you're not here mentally, you can't produce. And even when it comes to YouTube, if someone's not here mentally, how the fuck you expect them to produce a video? How the fuck you expect them to go live if they're not here mentally? Okay? Because YouTube mostly is a mental game. Empathy goes a long way as a human being. If you are a fan of somebody, whether it's an athlete, actor, musician, rapper, pop star, whoever, YouTuber, Twitch streamer, you gotta have some type of empathy when it comes to mental health. You have to. And it can kind of come off as a bit of you projecting, because if you are in the real world working your 9-to-5 job and you're working under a boss that don't care how you feel, you're projecting how your boss feels towards you onto the next person and onto the next person. Or because your boss don't care how you feel when you come to work every day, that you shouldn't care about the next person. Like, oh, why should you care about them if no one cares about you? But I think what's going to end up happening is people are going to start getting sick and tired of bullshit like this. And celebrities around the world are going to eventually take a stand, mostly here in the US. They're going to eventually take a stand like, you know what, you don't care about our mental health, we're not going to produce. And I think that's what should happen, to give people a wake-up call. Until you start caring about our mental health, we won't produce for you. And people could try to make an argument, well, they'll go broke. No. Some of these people who make a shit ton of money, they can probably live off whatever money they got outside of the NBA, outside of whatever sport they're in for the rest of their lives. And the different, not to mention the many different investments they probably have outside of their career. But if somebody like LeBron, for example, came out and said, you know what, mentally, I'm not here, I'm going to take a season off. If Drake said, mentally, I'm not here, I need to take a year off. People would try to tell LeBron, you need to shut up and dribble. People would try to tell Drake, we don't care how you feel, just produce music. In order for someone to perform at a high level, they need to be mentally up here 110%. Until you start caring, we won't produce. Because people have this idea that we're not human beings, we're just robots who's just supposed to produce. Like we're on a fucking conveyor belt. That's not how it works realistically. We go through shit. We have to deal with shit. And sometimes you have to take a break or just to produce at a high level, no matter what you're doing, whether it's YouTube, whether it's sports. I just look at people like Kevin Gates, for example. I don't know if y'all remember, but the interview he did with Big Facts Podcast saying where he almost took himself out over things he was going through. The weight of being a provider was, starting to get too much for him. But you know what people would say to Kevin Gates? We don't care how you feel, shut up and produce. I think, in my opinion, if you have that type of mindset where you don't care how someone feels, I feel like if you're that type of person who has that type of mindset, you're not a real fan of that person. I don't even consider you a human being, because you got to have some type of level of empathy. Because empathy goes a long way. But when people look at empathy, they look at it, well, oh, nobody feels bad for me, so why should I feel bad for the next person? Just because it's done to you don't mean you should treat everybody the same or treat the world the same. But that's all I got to say about this. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Till next time, it's been H-Dog here, and I'm out. Peace.